Hello everybody, welcome to another speedrun game against Alipor 37, rated 1244. So we still have not really gotten Kalashnikov Sicilian, they just won't let us. They keep doing their own variety of things, such as bringing out this bishop very early and letting us play d5 and hit it with tempo. So he could have moved it to e2 to start without giving us free tempi, but we're just going to develop towards the center, build up a nice position. Okay, let's bring out our king's knight, and now we can prepare castling. He goes for d4. If I move my bishop, he's going to make a move again, and then he'll get another turn. So instead of that, I'm just going to take a central pawn for a flank pawn. I absolutely don't mind the isolated queen's pawn. He takes back. Now, in an IQP structure, you want as many pieces as possible. I mean, you don't need all of them, but you also don't want to trade for no reason. However, if he takes, he fixes our structure. We no longer have an IQP, and then that rule doesn't apply the same. So I'm going to just develop my bishop to the most active square, aim at his king, and prepare castling. He aligns with my king, but I'm just in time to get out of there. And I like black's position. I have 3 minors out, and he has 2. So he trades, but now my d5 pawn is very secure, so maybe he'll try to play c4 to break it down. And re-give me an isolated pawn. However, I don't know if we have to respond to that, as we can just keep developing or making threats. Since black's position has some good lines, his king doesn't have a knight defending it. So he develops and just pins our knight. Fine. Doesn't threaten anything. The trade would be good for us if he did it. So the drawback of his move is it undefends the b2 pawn. So we could develop with a threat. How does he defend that? It doesn't look so simple. I'm going to go rook b8 just because it doesn't look convenient. He might feel like he has to play b3 and this just weakens the dark squares, and then I can go again, having activated my rook and weakened his position. So now that he weakened the dark squares, can we use that diagonal? We immediately hit the rook, and he's kind of in trouble. He has to play c3, which is a weird move, but maybe it holds for a second. Oh no, he doesn't. Oh yes, wait, what? Yeah, he does. Okay, first I'm going to get in the free move. I want to get in free moves. So I got in the free rook move. Now I'm going to get in free h6, which gives my king luft in the endgame, provokes him or tempts him to trade, giving my queen that diagonal immediately. And he trades. So I'm immediately hitting the rook, but now he's not forced to go c3 because the queen is higher value. He can go knight d2 and the queen protects, whereas the bishop would then just still be winning in exchange. So he doesn't notice or doesn't realize he can protect it, probably doesn't notice. Instead, he attacks my bishop, which hasn't moved, so I'm not worried about that. I'm also not worried about him trapping my queen, so this looks like a free rook. And the game is over. So he takes a piece. I guess we'll just take back. He moves his knight, offers a queen trade. That's just a free win, immediate win. We take the open file immediately. And we have perfect harmony in our position. Okay, 3 pawn islands, but still they're secure. He makes some room for his king, but now we can just double easily and for free. Not for free, but easily and without counterplay. So he makes random pawn moves, and we're just going to force trades so we can finish the game quicker. Okay, so he doesn't want the trades, of course. So I'll just do something with my bishop since it's kind of just sitting there. Might as well attack something, offer a different trade. You have a bunch of moves. You can do this however you want, but this is one simple way that makes sense, right? Move my bishop, attack one of his things. And then when he moves the knight, attack something else. Move it again, attack this. How does he defend that, right? So just attack stuff. You could have attacked it last turn, but if he didn't, I guess he had to move the knight because it was hanging, but either way, he's completely lost. We're just up a rook. He also can't really defend this threat, which means his king is going to walk into a discovery. So he walks into it first because he knows he can't do anything. You could take with either piece. I'll just take with the bishop. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's make some forward room for our king. Get our pawn ready to hit his knight at some point. While he just waits to do nothing. He doesn't have any moves or plans that make any sense. And I'm just looking for... Okay, he wants me to take his pawn so his rook can get some access, right? But I'm going to give him a free pawn so I can take his knight. If he doesn't take, that's terrible because you can't really leave my pawns here. So he doesn't take, which should be terrible. So what can we do? We can lift our rook. We can not lift our rook. You can do whatever you want. He could have taken this pawn, but he didn't. So, I mean, I'll just cement it because it looks really nice. Although you could have taken, you could have ignored. If this bishop wasn't in the way, we could just take this knight because it's pinned. So he just moves random stuff, which is fine. I'll just push the pawn. And see what he does. Assuming he's going to go here, we'll take it. Let's go there. We'll just go behind. There's no hope. There's no chance. This pawn doesn't mean anything. This knight, this rook, they're hopeless. Oh, we've played this person. I didn't know Lichess tells you. It says your score 1-0. So we've played this person before. And we beat them apparently. Maybe in a different speedrun or something. Is the pool not that big that I have to fight the same person again? On their homepage, it's like this many millions people playing. Although everyone's playing 3-minute chess, right? Gotta ingrain those bad habits while you have the opportunity. Okay, so I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's thinking. But you don't have legal moves because this doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. This can't move. So you can't be thinking about much. Your knight can't move. I mean, you could just move your rook back and forth, but that's hardly a thing. I'm just gonna take his knight. Like I always do, I just give up my rooks because it makes life easy. Stabilize the bishop with check. Cool check. He goes up. We snatch his only. It's not an actual hope, but in his mind it's a hope. So we get rid of it. We go back to cut off his king. Whatever, we'll just recapture. We'll move our king up. Well, let's just promote actually. He has nothing to do. His king has no legal moves. The pawn doesn't. This one doesn't. So all he has left are random rook moves, which don't do anything. So he really should just resign. But he won't. He will not. He will play to the bitter end, which is his every right. Just because it's your right doesn't mean it's intelligent. Those are two completely separate things. Of course, I really hope you guys can convert this on your own. If you can't, you really should practice against the computer. Give yourself, an extra rook or whatever you have a trouble with, and then try to checkmate the computer. And don't do anything else until you can figure it out, because if you can't win up a rook, I mean, nothing else matters. Right? Like no other phase of chess, strategy, nothing matters if you can't win up a rook. And by the time you can win up a rook, like you're at the beginning stages of chess, which means it's so easy to win up a rook, which is why when you're up a rook, it's so obvious that the other person should resign because of how easy it is. And even your opponent should know how easy it is, because you don't like you barely need any chess strength to win up a rook. So we play a Sicilian, the hillbilly or the Bowdler something. He plays bishop c4, center and development with the idea of d5, center, development for free, force move for free, development and center, development and center. Not a forced move, but if you bring your bishop out, he makes it move again. It's not the end of the world, but I can avoid that. So I'm just taking first here. We have no mistakes, no blunders, one inaccuracy, bringing us down to 98%. I'll take it. So now we develop center, prepare castling, king safety, and development. Force move, and black's already preferred. We have a pawn presence, he does not. He also doesn't have a lead in development. If anything we do, if anything we have a safer king because we have the knight. So all the little factors add up in our favor, other than we have 3 pawn islands, he has 2, but that shouldn't matter right now. Okay, so developing for free. Here's my one inaccuracy. I mentioned in the game and calculated, should I go bishop e5, forcing c3? Apparently, yes, that is the strongest move. I ended up playing free move h6 and got my queen to that diagonal, but computer says even stronger is the bishop. So let's just quickly look at bishop in, pawn up. What's our follow-up? Queen d6, which would threaten the king pawn, this pawn. If he tries to block it, we need another cool move, knight in center. Hitting this pawn, so he has to go back, maybe to defend. We don't even take the bishop, we triple up maybe. What a nuisance. And if he tries to protect it, oh, we're double hitting the f2 pawn. Yikes. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a cool sequence that just does threat after threat after threat. I was being a little more simple-minded, only looking at the initial threats. In any case, we played h6, perfectly fine move, just an inaccuracy. He takes, we take, and it's -2 and higher from here on out, as we have no more inaccuracies, and the game's just over. Even though we're not up a pawn, it says we're -2. That's because our active queen with the immediate threats and the weak dark squares that we provoked, along with the half a pawn advantage, also known as the bishop pair, along with a decent central pawn chain. But mostly dark square bishop, dark square queen, weak dark squares, not good for him. And immediately it goes from -2 to -6, well, because he hangs a rook. So force move. Remember, the single most impactful trade is the queen trade, as it changes the logic of the position. Because we're up a piece, a rook, we definitely want to include, unless you just see you have some type of checkmate thing coming up soon, we definitely take the queen. Logic is over, the game is over, the end. Any opponent above 1800 immediately resigns. They don't just keep playing. Especially if you're over the board, there's 0% chance anyone plays another move. But, this is online. I'm just telling you the proper logic. If you're over the board, definitely just do it that way. Anyway, we just develop and center. Improve a piece. Improve a piece, -7. Improve a piece for free. Improve a piece for free. Free stuff. G4, 5 is totally random. You can ignore it. It's not wrong, it's just random. Here he attacks. You can do whatever you want. We push past. Infiltrate. I mean, the rest is kind of elementary because you could do whatever you want. So submit your rapid games in my Discord so I can analyze them for you. Good luck in your chess.